Hey there, I'm Key Austin, and you're watching Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube.
Hey. You got Sam Dollar right here coming at you, long and strong, loud and proud, just like I always do. Remember, people, we're on the Buster H.R. Johnson YouTube channel, YouTube and Facebook. If you don't mind, if you go there and you like what we do, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please, I need it. Let me tell you something. 35 years ago when I got in this business, I went for 2 years and never got a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So then I started getting a hot dog and a Coke. Me doing this thing with my brother Buster, I ain't received not one dime. So what I need you people to do is, please, I'm getting hungry. Please hit the like and subscribe. Now today I'm sitting here and different situations call for different things. So what we're gonna do is, and until I get this thing perfected, we're just gonna call this sitting at the ringside. And I got the Booker brothers right here with me, right here. James Lee right here, and I got Chris Hollywood right here. So we got a lot of history. 25 years, every Friday night, off and on, we were together. It wasn't like we hung around together. We didn't call each other on the phone. But for 25 years, we fell in every Friday night, and we knew exactly what we had to do. We knew exactly what Moondog wanted done, no questions asked. Go in there and get your job done. How y'all doing today?
Glad to be here with you, buddy.
Yeah.
Missed you, man.
Well, I'm glad to see you boys. I ain't lying now. I guarantee you. So, I'm a little nervous today, you know, like I told you.
Why are you so nervous? That's the
Well,
bad part.
anytime I got to try to perfect something out that I'm not very good at, then I have to get it right. You know what I'm saying? So
Actually, I think is what he meant was when he said he was nervous. What he touched on it a minute ago was the 20 to 25 years worth of history. I think that's where the nervous part comes in.
Yeah. Believe me. That's right. Sitting down at the ringside is what we're gonna call this one. But anyway. Where y'all want to start off at?
Well, you want to start off again?
Start off where you want to, baby.
All right. I guess it was, for me, it was 1995 around then. You know, I never really wanted to wrestle a lot, but that was just one of them things that I didn't really strike me, you know, because Dad was gone a lot and stuff like that. But, you know, it was around 95, you know, so I come to Dad on a Monday and told him, I said, you know what? I want to wrestle. He goes, okay. I went to one training session on a Wednesday night. You know, the Wednesday night training session. Wednesday night training session. That very next Friday, I had my first match. So that's when I get introduced to this guy right here. He told a story about me last time on this video right here. I will not confirm nor deny that story, but he knows a little bit of history.
I know about that story. What you mean, brother? I know about that story, you saw. Hey, me and Ron McClarty. Me and Ruthless Ron McClarty was there. And Ron McClarty is the one that gave you the advice what to do. Not me. But you know, I agreed with him.
Yeah, you did.
And we told you, what did we tell you? Go ahead and park that thing and get your butt back in the building.
Don't say a word.
Don't say a word to nobody. Ain't nobody gonna know no difference. That's what we told you?
Yeah.
And did we take care of it, brother?
It happened. That's where we go back to
Hey,
say
now
history.
really, admit this, baby. You was nervous and scared. Admit it.
Yeah. Dad was 315 pounds of yes sir, no sir.
Yeah.
So if you go outside and you mess up bad like that, well, you're gonna pay for it. I mean, to be honest, it's gonna whoop my tail.
Yeah.
So,
that was some good stuff.
and that storage stayed quiet. It never
Until you.
Well, I mean, really, you know, with the shape that pro wrestling's in this day and time, really, dudes, nobody does what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Even though y'all young, y'all do what you do. I've been out of the business since 2015. The deal is that you know how it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We know how it's done. You know why? Because we were trained by a real superstar.
We was trained to look out, and we was taught to respect and take care of each other.
Yeah, let me ask you something. You don't remember that belt match, do you?
Yes.
You remember that belt match?
Yep.
All right, even in ECW, you ever seen anybody take a whooping like I took?
No, you
Never.
took a whooping.
Yeah, all right, dig it. Here's the way the story goes. And it ain't no story either.
It's true life.
Alright. Now, it's not that I was in the very first belt match of any time in wrestling, but in Moondog Championship Wrestling, I did one of the very first belt matches
Yes.
there was. So every time I turned around, they were sticking me in a belt match. So this time, they put me in a belt match for the following Friday night. So I trained myself all week that week. And so, whenever, usually when you get through, now, I hate to expose the business, but everybody's done did it. So let's go ahead and do the thing. You know what I'm saying? So, usually when you throw the heel out, he runs around the ring, takes a few licks, bam, bam, boom, boom. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. So, when Big Daddy threw me out, I just walked around the ring and them women was beating me half to death. I
Yes.
mean, think about it, dude.
Yes.
Think about it.
And in Osceola women, what they would use the buckles, they would try to pick your eyes out.
Man, let me tell you something. I had whelps on my back. I was bleeding. About that time, here you come down the aisle.
Yep.
Now, what you got to understand about these two cats right here is, before Chris got as big as he is now, Chris's body frame was a little different than James's. So, and Chris at this time, I swear his arms couldn't have been no bigger around than that.
About 170 pounds.
And so Chris had this belt and he reared it back and I looked at him, I said, "You little punk," I said, "what you gonna do?" And he looked and all of a sudden, now if you know where Osceola is, where the concession stand is, there's a little wall right there. So I backed Chris over to the wall, and when I did, I think he thought I done went crazy or something, cause I said, "Come on, punk, hit me with that belt, what you gonna do?" And he looked at me and goes, "Sexy, sexy." Like he was trying to communicate like he thought I'd done gone crazy. And so about that time, here comes White Lightning down the aisle, and when I went over to White Lightning, I said, "You punk," I said, "what are you gonna do?" He said, "Dog said you better sell." And I rolled back in the ring, took the pin, and got on out. So when I come in the dressing room, thing about Dog was he never chewed me out about anything. And when I come back in the dressing room, him and Big Daddy was sitting there and they was looking at me funny. And I said, "I know what y'all wanted, and I didn't get it done." I said, "but I had to prove something to myself." But you got to admit, brother, I mean, ECW's had some bad stuff, but you got to understand, I trained myself all week long for that.
Yes.
I knew what it was going to be, and man, my back was bleeding.
Yeah.
And they was even taking the buckles and turning around and hitting me with the buckles.
Yes.
But I never forget you. I never forget you. You looked at me and you go, "Sexy, sexy." Like this dude's done gone nuts, and I never got a response from nobody like, "Man, that was some bad stuff," So I never, but in my mind, it takes a heck of a dude to tote that butt whooping, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I say now. Yeah, I mean, we go back a long way. So look at him now and everything, but I'll give him crap and everything. Like I asked him what happened to him, but you have to understand, this man's 5 foot nothing, but he was as big as a broadside of a barn. I mean, some of you always looked up
Big
to
old
thick
fella, then.
and big old boy, you know what I'm saying? But when you got to coming at you like this right here, well, now I'm gonna come at him like that right there, and let's see what he does. My back against that wall.
Yeah. Hey,
Stick around. Let's see.
No.
Let's see if you find a good spot
Wait a
to
minute.
hide.
Ho. Don't edit that out. Wait a minute, edit that out. But anyway, that was a killer night that night.
Yes,
you know
it
what I'm
was.
saying?
Yes.
And we got together so much, man. I mean, it was just like clockwork. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It took place. If you don't forget, I'm the one that gave you the name, the Universal Lover.
Yes, I
Chris
remember.
Hollywood.
I remember.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you wore it for a little while.
Yes, I did.
You got some tapes on YouTube
Yep,
too.
yep.
Universal Lover, Chris Hollywood.
Yep.
So,
Sure did.
but anyway, what y'all been doing?
Man, throughout life and everything was the past 10, 15 years, I ain't gonna lie, that's my brother, he'll tell you, he carried on the torch. I had to step away from wrestling for a little while because I didn't have the drive, the passion for it, anything. I had to find something to make me happy. So I decided that I started running. I run marathons, stuff like that. I've run St. Jude Marathon. I've done several things like that right there. I even talked to my boy Buster about what to do and stuff like that because I actually trained for that stuff right there. Really hard to get. I'd run 25 miles a week. After that, I had my fill of that. One day I woke up one day and said, I ain't gonna run no more. I'm done running. After about 2 years, then I got into powerlifting. That was something to me that I always had to prove to myself to be the best at it, to try to make Dad proud. 'Cause it wasn't him. So it's something I always pushed and drive for. And still to this day, it's what I do. You know, it's what I love. It gives me that energy, that adrenaline rush that wrestling did. I still love wrestling, but it's tough.
You know, the last time I talked to you many, many years ago, I asked you what you were doing. You said you got into a new powerlifting type deal.
Yes.
Well, since then, I have heard that you got hurt some kind of way.
Yes, I had 6 months ago. I had to have shoulder surgery. I had a torn rotator cuff and torn bicep.
It's the worst
You
thing in the
know,
world.
I ripped them plumb in half, just lifting and stuff like that. You know, because I'm what they call, if anybody laughs or anything like that, I'm what they call an angry lifter. I get mad.
Yeah.
I get mad. And I
Angry's
try
not
to
the word
rip
from
that
stuff I've
I
seen.
try to rip that tough stuff to the ceiling. You know,
Yeah,
and it had,
yeah.
you know, and stuff. You know, but again, no, I don't give up. I was always told, Dad, you don't give up, you don't back down, and I don't give up. And that's the thing about it. Well, 6 months passed by. I had lost a lot of weight. I leaned up and I got back in shape, and I'm going at it again. I won't stop.
Has your rotator cuff bothered you since you went back heavy?
Oh,
lifting?
absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm back to about.
You look lean.
Oh yeah, I'm back to about a 600-pound deadlift again now. So I'm ready to
Okay.
go.
No, you look lean, but you
Oh,
still
yeah.
look built. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the same weight I was before, just leaner.
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you something.
Solid muscle on it now.
Look here. So, excuse me here for a minute. Excuse me here. Now, this just happened recently. This here just happened recently. In fact, it was what, last month over in Paragould?
Last month in
Okay.
Paragould.
So I'm sitting there, and I seen this lady in the crowd, you know, and so I'm sitting there. She's got 2 little kids with her, you know. And you know Sam, he's always scoping stuff out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know
I
how I am, baby. So, but anyway, I see this nice looking lady in the crowd, and I asked some people if they know her, and they don't know who she is. And I see 2 kids with her, and I said, an old man and 2 kids might need some help with the light bill or something. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is one more coincidence. He and me are sitting side by side, and I said, "You know that lady down there?" He said, "I think he said something about, yeah, I know her or something, you know." So
I think it was along the lines of, I might know who she
yeah, and I said, "Well," I said, "she looks real good." I said, "And I don't see no man with her, you know." And so he said, "Well, go down there and talk to her." And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "I don't know her." You know. So what he done was he led me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
He led me on, and then finally, I said, "That's yours?" He said, "Yeah, that's mine." Okay, mine. And I said, "Golly!" I said, "This is one more coincidence." You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And but he did tell me, he said, "Go on down there," you know. So, but that was crazy as heck. We was sitting there side by side. "Chief, won't you come on up here? You want to come up here?
I'm good.
You good? Okay. You got us in the camera here? Okay. Now, what else y'all want to talk about?
Well, hold on.
'Cause
I'll tell you.
I want to tell you something. I've been gone for quite a while, so I don't know what y'all have done. I mean, I've watched y'all on YouTube, but I don't really know what y'all have been doing. I mean, I know he's working.
Let me touch where he left off. You know, he started in 95. About 15 years later or so, maybe a couple more, maybe less, the early 2000s,
Yes.
1, 2, something like that. And Dad finally cut me loose. He's like, "Hey, I need a referee. James, you're the referee."
Yeah, I remember.
It wasn't no questions. Just like, "Hey, you're the referee."
I remember that.
And I was like, "Okay, I'll do my best with you." So we went on, and then eventually he started letting me work a few road shows and stuff like that. And, here, you got to wear this mask. Okay, you don't ask questions. You just shut up and do it.
Yeah.
The luchador. There's not very many of them. When we started that, there was no extra luchadors running
Yes.
around. So we do the road shows, and then the ring up, ring down, things like that. Back to the concession stand. We did all the stuff, and then we progressed in it. We had I stepped away for a while. He was still working a little bit, and he stepped away. And whenever I got back in it, I made some phone calls like, "Hey, Bub, I got an opportunity to run a show or 2. And I won't never forget it because it's one of our first shows back here in this building. Bring back memories on this one. And we're standing in the back. I was like, "Hey, you got me tonight?" He's like, "Sure, no problem. Big brother always gonna take care of you. Dad always taught us to take care of each other." So he calls me to the side. He's like, "Come here." I said, "What?" He said, "Let me see if I can still pick you up." I said, "Do what?" He's like, "Yeah, let me pick you up." I was like, "Okay, cool." So we get in the back. He picks me up above his head and says, "Put me down." Cool. He said, "So when we get to the spot, yada, 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 we do the spot in the ring, he picks me up and he throws me." I roll out of the ring and I'm looking at him. I said, "Don't throw me like that no more." We feed back in there again, and I didn't have no choice on the second one. He picks me up again and just chunks me all the way out the ring. I said, goodness. We get back out there, and by then I'm done started mouthing at him, and we take our turns, beating each other up back and forth. Well, at one spot, I hit the floor. I guess at one point I done ruffled his feathers enough for him to get his lick back in on me. He's got a recurring elbow injury that he's got. And I promise you, I to this day, I will still tell you, I did not have nothing to do with it. But I guarantee you, one of these tiles on this floor somewhere, he picked up and smacked me across my chest with it hard enough to hyperextend his elbow.
No. Here's what happened.
No.
Here's what happened. He was in the ring, and he hit me in the elbow, and then my elbow swelled up like a softball. He is the only person to truly hurt me in the ring. My own brother. I mean, can you imagine that right there? He can deny it. He's the one who did it.
Never. Yeah, I mean, at some point he got his lick back though. I'll tell you that. He hit me hard enough to knock the wind out of me, and I was trying to fight from him, but he's too big to get away from him.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about it, this building right here at Manila, you know, it does bring back a lot of memories. I mean, there's been many shows running here.
I've been
you
to
know,
many shows here.
And I remember one show in particular. Yeah, Chief was there. He knows. That was the night they was going to try to play a joke on me. Well, they were supposed to arrest me after the match. Well, they was going to throw me in the car and actually take me to jail, which I didn't know that. You know, because what it was, I mean, my old ex-partner Frankie, you know, we got in here and we was friends, but that was like one of our final matches and stuff together. So we come out here and when I say that, when me and that guy right there, when I say that we fought, I have never fought anybody in the ring tooth and nail like that in my life. That, I mean, because Dad trained us to be rough. History on that, me and Frankie used to be a tag team. We was still small and we was still young, but when we was sending us out there, Snowman, remember him?
Yeah.
Dad used to send us out there against these big guys and stuff like that, and they try to run us over, and it just turned into an all-out brawl, all-out fight.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the time that happened in Osceola. They was just beating us up and everything, so I took it run and pinned one guy against the concession stand around the waist, and I was up under. I had him pinned up underneath the bar top, and then Frankie was on the top, punched him. You know what I'm saying? And this is how rough we got.
He climbed up on top of the bar and was punching me.
Yes, I mean that's how rough we got. Fast forward to years later, out here, me and him, you know, that's just we got out here and we tore this place apart and everything. We knocked each other left and right out here. He picked me up and they saw him put him to the table. Then all of a sudden out of nowhere he picks me up and throws me to the table. And they're going, no, don't put him to the table. You broke the table. I mean, all kind of stuff that. After the match right there, you know, after the match did the deal and stuff, and they was trying to Chief was trying to handcuff me and stuff, handcuff slip, hit Frankie in the eye, they had me cuffed, taking me out back, and I didn't know till after the show that they was really going to put me in the car, and he wasn't going to tell his deputy, and they was going to take me to the county that night and just rib me the whole way there. I'm glad he didn't because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Manila, Arkansas.
You and Frankie used to have some killer matches against each other. I mean, really, the chop fest was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all would be just like bleeding up here, you know. So just, I mean, marks all over, and then, man, let me tell you something. You could hear them chops all over the building. You know what I'm saying? Frankie's a big tough dude too.
Yeah.
You know? So you and him still hang around together, talk together, or do anything?
We become distance over the years. I ain't seen him in a very, very long time. He actually moved a couple towns away from here, and I ain't seen him.
Well, you know, it's like I said. We were together for 20, 25 years, every Friday night, a lot of Saturday nights.
Yeah.
But Monty Cruz taught me a phrase in the business, and some guys do hang around together.
Yes.
But what we are is we're called working acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got from Monty Cruz. I've never heard nobody else say that. But you know, you'd have to work 2 or 3 years with somebody every Friday night, every Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you gone, they gone somewhere else. You
Yes.
know?
Yep.
And I tried to make as many shows, as many different places as I could, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do?
Well, I got a regular shoot job, as they would call it. I don't really have any extra activities. He's a firm believer in telling everybody that I don't do nothing. Which he's got a point. He's got a point. Once I get home, I generally don't come out of the house a whole lot unless we're all got something going on together. But other than that, you know, I try to help put together certain shows to benefit people, to help people out, you know, medical expenses, youth associations, stuff like that. They're few and far between. It takes a lot of process to get one of them things going, you know, and it takes a big crew to get it done. And that's one of the things that far as the wrestling, I'm an all right wrestler. I'm not gonna say I'm the best.
I think you're good. I think you're darn good.
Everybody's got their
So,
opinion on that. But on that
I think
note,
both of you's killer, you know.
on that note, I picked up a lot of stuff from Dad was the business side of it. He taught me a little bit different than what he taught Hollywood over there. You know, he taught him to wrestle. You know, don't take no the. And then the funniest parts was, you know, we both, even though we're brothers and we only got a few years between us, the life that he seen Dad live and the life that I seen Dad live was on two different levels.
Yeah.
He got a totally different outlook on wrestling business than the wrestling business I got outlook on. You know?
Yeah.
He got the old school mentality, you know, go out there, have your match, do your spot, go home and shut up.
Yeah.
You know, and then I get to see the business side of it, you know. I enjoy the business side of it.
Well, I mean, you know, I remember one night Moondog walked by me and he had a clipboard and he told me, he says, if all these guys show up, he said, I got a whole month's worth of matches right here.
Yep.
Of shows. I got a whole month worth of shows right here. That's how far ahead he planned.
Yeah.
Now, the way the story used to go is, if you got a good promoter and he runs a town every Friday night or every Saturday night, he already knows what he's going to do the next Friday night from
Right.
that show he
Yes.
did that night.
Yes.
Well, I don't think it goes on like that anymore.
No, it don't anymore. Me and him actually, me and my brother, we have conversations about that. And I have a lot of conversations about that stuff right there because like you said, I was trained with the old school mentality and everybody is, but we all have the same take on it, okay? You show up to the show, you do what the promoter does, he tells you what to do.
That's right. Shot caller.
That's what you do. You don't come to the show and say, you walk in and go, the guy walks in or he calls you 13 times before you show up for the show, hey, what am I doing tonight? Can you tell me what my match is going to be?
Yeah.
Who am I working? It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're a professional, you can come out here, as what Dad say, you have a match with a broom.
With a broom.
Yeah.
You can come out there and have
But you still need your ring generals that everybody goes to. And, you know, I tried to come back in 17 for a little bit to help Dirty Little Dave. Tried to come back in 19 for a few shows to help Dirty Little Dave. But, you know, there's no ring generals telling, look, like when you walked in and Moondog told you something, this is the way it's going to be. You ain't got no choice in the matter. This is what I got figured up. And he would figure it down to the T. And he had something for everybody to do, and it was always entertaining.
Yes.
And y'all think about it, we always had fun, didn't we?
Oh yeah. I mean, remember the nights Dad would always say, Bubba, you go what? Stand by.
Stand by.
Then Dad would go
Yeah.
over and he would stick his head out the
Stand,
concession stand
watch
door
the
and he'd watch the match. And he'd
Yeah.
go, then you'd hear him back, Bubba, get them the hell out of that damn ring.
Yeah.
That's what I was fixing to
Yeah.
touch on right there is how many run-ins did we do?
Oh,
Because
goodness.
he'd set it up, he'd say, okay, this is what we're going to do. He'd watch it, he'd let it go on for a minute. If it wasn't what he wanted, it's time to go in.
Well, see, if any time a match was going bad,
Yeah.
he'd send the heels to the ring, son.
Every
And,
time,
hey,
every
you
time.
was beating up the heel and the face too.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. You know, just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, good psychology. You know what I'm saying? And I really never knew how many shows this guy had been on until I got YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy has been everywhere.
Yes.
You know, I seen some of it. I don't know where it was at. It was way up in Tennessee, but they just called him the dog up
Yeah.
there. And he got to work with what's his name, Ron White.
Yeah.
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 Ron White was a killer dude, you know.
Yeah.
So, what do you got a 9 to 5 or what do you do?
Yep. Yes, I've had the same job for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I've been a supervisor over people for the last 15 years in an automotive facility.
Oh, Manila, Osceola, or
Osceola.
where?
Osceola.
Osceola.
We actually both work at the same place.
Oh, really?
I'm a
I'm
boss on first, he's a boss on second.
I'm
Well, you
chasing
can't
his
beat
tail.
that. So, yeah, you can't
And we're
beat
neighbors,
that.
that's the problem.
Y'all live that close, right next door to each other?
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't live next door to my brother.
Well, that's the thing about it, Dad, I'm supposed to say we go back as family. Wrestling's a family to me, and and my family is my family to me.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it is how we used to do it back in the day.
Yeah.
If something popped off out there, what do? You clear the dressing room, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Every
You clear the
time.
dressing
Yeah.
room, you go out there and you handle your business.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way with my family and my brother, stuff like that. You do something to my brother, I'm going to clear the dressing room. I have cleared the dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, just to touch on that, I had a situation, and we all get, we were very blunt people. We're all very blunt people for that matter, And I had a situation where I got tired of looking at something on Facebook, so I voiced my opinion. Well, the guy messaged me and had his opinion on it too. I was like, hey, Bub, you know, look what I got sent. Yeah, I didn't ask him to take care of it. He said, hold on. He walks off. He's got his phone out. He's doing his thing. About that next couple of days, he said, that thing you told me about. I said, yeah. He said, don't worry about it no more. I was like, and I'm kind of speechless. I'm like, what are you talking about there for a second? And he's like, don't worry about it no more. And then here comes the other guy back. He's like, oh man, I apologize. I didn't mean to do this, didn't mean to do that. But you know, you got to keep that family ties there. You know, even with the brothers in the back, we don't always see eye to eye on everything. But you know, there's a few of them. You know,
but if you
stick your neck
remember,
out for.
yeah, but if you remember the times that I've come back, it seems like the dressing rooms are in such a disarray.
Yeah.
Okay. Moondog had a family.
Yes.
We were family.
Yes.
Nobody from the lowest to the tallest to the biggest or whatever. Concession stand, ticket seller, announcer, referee. Everybody was just as important as everybody else.
Absolutely.
And you better get your stuff right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, one thing I can say is there was a lot of times I did a lot of stupid stuff. And I remember one night I come back, Moondog had done been protecting me in the old building from this dude that looked like a moondog, and he had calves that big around.
Yeah.
He was trying to get out to get me, and Moondog come back and got him. So when we got in the back, Moondog looked at me and said, Sexy, I can't keep protecting you out there now. He said, they're going to get you before it's over with, you know. So, anyway, what else? You got some more stuff?
Man, I got loads of stuff. You know?
Well, let's talk. We got a little time this afternoon
Oh, yeah.
if y'all want to. I mean, I hope we get to do some more of these sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something, brother. I'm not reading no damn cue cards, okay? Put them up, throw them away. I know these two guys right here, okay? Throw the cue cards away.
So-
I'm not an idiot.
So he tells stories about me because we've been around each other a long time. I'm gonna tell a story about him. I'm gonna tell a story about him.
shoot.
I'm gonna tell him a story about him and his brother.
Ah,
Gosnell, Arkansas, probably the littlest place in the world. You know,
They had to cut a
little
hole.
hole, had to cut a hole in the ceiling.
for the ring. Okay. So if you ever wanted to see two big bulls tied up close and personal, with two different sizes, it was something. So he's laughing because he knows where this is going. So something happened during the match where they didn't jive on it. Sexy out there managing Buster in the ring. You know, something didn't jive with this. They come back to the dressing room. Sexy got that old stupid cane in his hand.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it right over there.
And he keeps waving that cane at Buster. It's in this dressing room is no bigger than this ring. Keeps waving that cane at Buster. He tells me, "You better get that damn cane out of my face."
Yeah.
I remember, man, I was young, so I think I just had a match after that, and I was like, "Oh God!" Like, well, you better get that cane out, and then him antagonistic. He keeps going on about it, waving that cane, and all I know is, I think he tried to hit Buster with the cane, and you talk about two animals just tying up in the corner in the dressing room. People's in there. Dad's hollering at him, going, "All right, y'all cut it out, trying to get him stopped." And then finally they just stopped.
Yeah.
You know, finally they just stopped. But you know, that's truly brotherly love. Nobody was mad at each other, but again, it was one of those things right there. Who's the bigger brother?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
was you thought you was right.
Yeah, well,
And he was going to show you wasn't right.
well, you know how it goes. I mean, Moondog had him in the headlock, and he had me in the headlock, and I was hitting him in the stomach, which wasn't doing no darn good. You know?
Yeah.
And Moondog was going, "Come on, guys, we got a good crowd, y'all brothers. We don't need to be doing this in here, you
Yeah.
know." And finally, everybody eased on out the other end of the building. And
Yes.
me and him was standing side by side, and I told him, I said, "Let me tell you something, son. If you wasn't my brother, I'd wait outside on you, and I'd cave your skull in with a baseball bat." And all of a sudden, we side by side. I look at him, he looks at me, and we bust out laughing,
Yeah.
son. And we sit down, and he starts getting undressed. So when I walk in the office to go over the main event with Moondog, Moondog's got his hands on the desk, he's looking at his clipboard, and I walk in, he looks up, and I said, "What?" And he goes, "Sexy, sometimes I just don't know what to think about you." You know? That was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And
That's
then,
what the stories, you know.
well, then what Big Daddy say? "And if you screw your spot up, I'm gonna kick your ass." You know?
Well,
So anyway.
you know, I remember the I didn't get a lot of the dressing room stories from whenever y'all started, but I remember a lot of the stories a little bit later on that Dad would tell. He said, "That damn Sexy used to get me in so much trouble because before you realized who LaFonce was, Dad wasn't letting you in on the secret."
Yeah.
remember LaFonce used to show up in Bible shows all the time.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
he's seen LaFonce's wife, and he was always after Miss Sanders.
Miss Sanders,
He was
yeah,
always
yeah,
after her. And
yeah.
Finally, that one night, he got a
That's a
hold
fine
of
looking old girl too, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I'd say so myself, you know.
He tore into you, and you went back. Moondog, I don't know who that old man was, but I was finna knock his lights out.
Yeah,
Well, he
yeah.
just giving him hell about it later to find out. Oh, that's your partner.
That's my silent partner.
You're my
is what it
silent
was.
partner. You know,
Yeah.
and going with the stories and everything.
And Moondog says, he likes you, but he wants to kick your ass. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
He wants to kick your ass.
It's one of those things, you know.
You know, and yes, that was a fine looking old girl, if I had to say so myself.
That's like the second time you said that.
I know it, but I got to admit that girl was well rounded. And anybody knows I'm always looking and cooking, you know what I'm saying? So I got tunnel vision when it comes to women, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
so what else, boys? Come on, we got a little time.
Well,
this
hey, you know,
afternoon.
we try to do shows here and there. You know, Big Brother over there, he stands back. I let him throw
Well, I'm
weights
just
around.
going
You
to
know.
say that I don't see you working as much as you used to work on shows.
No, I'm the only one there in the pool.
Okay, okay. Now, what do you? I mean, you just
Well, here-
you
well,
pick your
well-
shows, or what do you do?
No. Actually, what I do is, you know, when I step back and everything, you know, what I do, and it's not to be cocky or anything like that. I just sit at home, you know. I say sit at home, you know. I've chose my fitness life over that right there, you know. And because when I injured my shoulder and everything, you know, it was wrestling 2 to 3 times a week and lifting 5-6 days a week, trying to compete and work up to this meet right here and wrestling at the same time. The wear and tear on my body, I just couldn't handle it both.
Yeah.
I couldn't do both of them right there, you know. And the powerlifting stuff, I was gracious enough to be trained by a great man, a really good friend of mine, and he trained me in the best way, like Dad would do. You know, he took us in and everything, and he trained me the best way that he could and everything, you know. And I went on within the first year, man. I went on to win national and world record and stuff like that right there. So
Yeah.
it's something that I love doing. Now, you know what I'm saying? If somebody wants me to work a show and everything, they get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I don't go out looking. I'm not going to be honest. I really
Yeah.
go out looking. I
Yeah.
mean, I got one of those things that I like to work. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, just is what it is.
Well,
you know?
there's just so much junk going on right now. There's
because
just,
the young talent. I mean, I hate to be the jerk on here, but the young talent that we get these days and stuff like that, you know. And I see a couple people sitting around the ring over here and stuff like that, you know. And the young talent that we get these days that come to the dressing room, they feel like they're entitled. You know, a lot of them feel like they're entitled, and like I said, they want to know what to do before the show or that right there. You come in, they'll be like, "We're going to do this." I don't want to do that. Well, it really doesn't matter. You're going to go work this guy. He's too stiff. Let me tell you something. Dad trained us. You better be ready for what you go out.
you go
there.
out and do the job.
You lay your shit in,
That's right.
and you make it believable. I've had I don't know how many people tell me I was too rough. Matter of fact, I got denied. I got called to work a show in Tennessee last year. I actually run into the guy in Dyersburg. A year later,